Chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn. Good afternoon, Quad Cities. Friday, July 23rd, the day before the Big 7. The Bix is back. I'm lucky to be in studio with Merrick Brave on such a weird day. No, I mean,
you do this on purpose, Jay.
I think so.
You always bring me in when there's breaking news regarding my favorite teams.
There's so much to unpack today that I would not have expected. Now, yesterday we ran into some problems, just like scheduling-wise, who was supposed to be on the show. We are going to talk to somebody at 12:30. We're going to make a phone call. Emily Van Buskirk, who was on the show on Wednesday, who's at Big Ten Media Day, was nice enough to connect me with somebody who was at SEC Media Day. Again, another big thing that happened in the past 24 hours. Here's what the sports world has given us in a time when there's no sports. The NFL dropping the vaccination thing. I mean, bringing up dropping the news of the vaccination, which is big.
I mean, you saw the reactions from many players on Twitter yesterday. Some high-profile players.
Yes. We get to talk about that. Oklahoma and Texas saying that they want to go to the SEC, which this could be announced as early as next week.
I'm down for it, I think, yeah.
It's incredible, so that's what we'll talk to Chrissy about. Then you've got this morning Cleveland and their announcement, which we'll talk to about the change in their team name. We knew the team name change was coming, but we didn't know what the team name would be. Ugh. And then you also have, because this is the Midwest where we're at, you have the news of about 90 minutes ago that Devontae Adams has broken off talks with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, man. They're going to be without QB1 and wide receiver 1.
He wants to be paid like he is the best in the league.
Because he might be.
And the Packers do not want to pay him like he's the best in the league.
Oh, boy. Man, Packers fans, you've had it good for so long. You're about ready to feel what it's felt to be a Dolphins fan my whole life.
And today is the day that the opening ceremonies of the Olympics are happening.
Yeah. Which, no fans, right?
No fans.
No fans.
No fans at all. Who knew if we were going to have them or not?
Before they canceled fans, weren't they like, okay, fans can come, but you can't cheer?
Yep.
Don't cheer at the Olympics. Just sit and watch quietly.
Yeah, we're going to limit the amount of fans, and then you cannot cheer. We don't want to make any type of noises, which I guess, I mean, if it's still an airborne virus, you don't want to do too much about extending it out there. Now there's just no fans at all. So.
Cool.
It's interesting because this is the way I look at it. Gymnastics, do you feed off the crowd?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Track and field, I would say you do.
Yeah.
Because really it goes like this. They did a poll and like, what do you want to watch? And it is gymnastics one. Americans want to watch gymnastics. Then it actually is swimming. Then it goes track and field. Then it's basketball, men's basketball, then women's basketball.
Especially this season or this games.
So swimming, relay, I guess when you're on the starting block, that's about it.
Yeah, I think Americans want to watch swimming just because we've been so dominant with Michael Phelps and even to an extent Ryan Lochte for a little bit. But do you feed off the crowd? Probably not. I mean, you're like underwater, so.
Yeah, I'm saying just on the starting block, the anticipation would be the only thing. You get the well, I don't even know. I want to say the hair on your arms, but they shave those off. So
yeah, I had a buddy in high school who was a state champion swimmer, and we always used to make fun of him for essentially shaving his whole body. Like he'd shave his eyebrows off. He was that dedicated.
Really?
Yeah.
So I would think the gymnastic. I know Simone Biles. She said that she was kind of worried not having a crowd. She said she feeds off that energy. Track and field, I would assume you feed off the energy. But I mean.
Ping pong.
I wonder if softball has. They haven't really come out and said anything. They won 2-0 and then they won 1-0. And I don't remember what the score was last night. They played real late last night, so I haven't even looked at it. Baseball will be starting next week. But a lot of those guys for the Team USA on baseball, they played in empty stadiums last year.
Yeah.
Or well, it's the ones that got to play in the majors. There wasn't anything in minors in the minor league. So
yeah, they're accustomed to it by now.
Well, but yeah, we got that at 12:30. We're going to talk to Chrissy about the SEC. I mean, last week, and we'll get to all this. We'll unpack more of it. But to me, it's just strange that the Big 12 comes out and says, hey, if you do the horns down sign, we're going to flag you for a taunting penalty. Don't do that to Texas. Be nice to Texas.
What are we doing? Society, listen to yourselves.
Yes.
What's happening right now? Like, everyone is so soft.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they did our symbol, but they turned it upside down.
What kid, I'm sorry, but like, seriously, what 18 to 22-year-old or 23-year-old is so much like, that's my school, brah.
They call home, Mom, I'm so shooketh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, seriously, at this day and age, like, I understand your loyalty back in the day and everything else, but things are different now. They're in transfer portals. They're not... You're not upsetting anyone. Texas fires a coach every 3 years. It's not like there's a coach there that's been there forever, and the Big 12 comes out and says, like, hey, you can't do this. We talked to Emily on Wednesday, and, this whole name, image, and likeness thing. I said, well, what's stopping a kid using his silhouette with his number on it? Let's say he's from Oklahoma, and the silhouette is doing the horns down, and he wears that T-shirt. He makes money off of it. Does this game start with an automatic taunting penalty because he walked into Austin with the T-shirt on before the game?
It's ridiculous.
It's terrible.
Remember?
And then, on top of it, Texas turns around and says, thanks. By the way, we've been flirting with the SEC. And us in Oklahoma think we're going to go do this.
My God. What? Come on.
The whole thing is goofy. Then Texas A&M comes out and Missouri both come out and say, we don't want them in the SEC. We don't want to lose recruits to them. And Texas A&M was like, we like being the only school in Texas in the SEC. Yeah, Missouri said, we don't want to do that. Oklahoma.
Of course.
You know what the SEC did? Hey, we're going to talk about it, but we're not going to invite Texas A&M to the talks.
You can't come.
Like, what is going on? Like, it's fantastic, but I mean, you just can't. Like I said, in a time when you're like, there's not a lot to talk about, they're just handing us this stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
So here's the idea of what's supposed to happen. Where is it here? This is what the SEC Network, and we're going to talk to Chrissy at 12:30, so she'll have a little bit more about what she heard at the SEC Media Day and what she thinks. But apparently last night, the SEC Network on Thursday proposed a potential football alignment among the speculation that Texas and Oklahoma could join the conference, and there would be basically 4 pods, 4 divisions. And so in like pod 1 or pod A, whatever you want to call it, would be like Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and South Carolina. Pod B, pod 2, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I mean, what would you do? You would have like, call one a South, one an Eastern, one a Conference. I don't know. Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Pod C, Pod 3, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. And then Pod D, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas. There would be a 9-game conference schedule. Teams to play each other. 3 teams in their pod every season, plus 2 games against each of the other pods. Teams would host every team at least once every 4 years. I listened to a lot of things today about the speculation. Most importantly, on the Dan Patrick Show. And he just basically said this thing is just going to blow up. That the NCAA is basically going to step away from it and just say, like, you guys just create this whole thing.
Do whatever you want.
Huh?
That's what they'll say. Do whatever you want. They don't care. SEC is college football anyway, in most people's eyes, specifically down there.
Well, and that's why they want to go.
The NCAA will no longer exist. It'll just be the SEC, and they'll have 120 teams in the SEC, and that'll be that. They'll have their own.
Well, supposedly, and since we're still talking about it, supposedly TCU, Texas Tech have reached out to the Pac-12. Kansas has reached out to the Big Ten. I'm assuming Iowa State's going to reach out to the Big Ten. Kansas State would probably reach out to the Big Ten. This is the only conference that really is outside of the SEC growing. The only conference that's sitting back going like, well, this is great, would be the Pac-12. Because every year they're kind of like on the outside looking in when it comes to college football playoffs. Now it's expanded. Now they're adding, if you add in a Texas Tech, a TCU, you're expanding the Pac-12, making it better. That's the only thing that you can think of.
Yeah, and the Big 12 is just like...
Big 12 is Big 10, right? There's only 10 teams in the Big 12 now. By the next week, supposedly it'll be back to the Big 8, which it originally was.
And they'll just be like, okay.
Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, Kansas State, Iowa State. I do it? Yeah, I don't know. There's a few left, I guess. It's just going to go to the wayside. And
yeah,
the other
not
thing,
a lot of thumpers in there. No. I grew up a Kansas State Wildcats fan, though. I lived in Kansas for 5 years as a kid, so.
Would love it if this happens in basketball, and then you have Kansas in Big Ten basketball.
Ooh.
If you're Iowa State, you're looking at like, no, we're fine with 8, just with 8.
Yeah,
we're in a good direction. We're in a good direction. Big 8 sounds good to us. We'll just play Big 8 schedule.
Well, I would love to see Kansas in the Big Ten.
I'm sure Oklahoma State too would love to stay that as well, to keep there. But yeah, that's crazy, just crazy stuff to talk about. And I can't wait to talk to Chrissy about that, what she says after being at the SEC Media Day. We'll talk next week about, to Emily Van Buskirk when she's at Media Day. She asked me about what to ask Ferentz. I looked it up. I still want to know if they're going to, which she talked about on Wednesday. If you didn't hear Wednesday's show, you can go back on Facebook Live. But she talked about the NIL and about how it's different now, because before you would go through the SID, the Sports Information Director, and say, can I talk to this person? And now the SID is kind of like, you can go ahead and reach out to him. He might
do
make
whatever you want.
Yeah, he might make you pay for it, but, figure it out. Now, when you go to like media days ahead of time, they'll say like, hey, who would you like to talk about as well?
Saban said his quarterback has nearly reached $1 million in fees.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And
he hasn't played.
No, that is a complete and utter.
You think that's a lie, a fabrication?
Here's what I thought. I thought that was amazing. An amazing plant by Nick Saban is what I thought it was.
Come to Alabama. You'll be a millionaire before you ever play down.
Because he said, and he's talking to these high school football coaches, Texas high school football coaches, and he's like, when he says it, pay attention to how he says it, and he's just like, this is like the wild, wild west. It's crazy. We've got Bryce Young, who's never even thrown a pass for Alabama, reaching 7 figures. All because of our brand. That was the biggest delivery possible when he said, all because of our brand, because it's come to Alabama. You can make 7 figures just because you go to Alabama. Not it's Bryce Young or anything like that. It was, you should do it this way. I thought that was great.
In the same speech, he also said that he was not the one who chose Dante Culpepper over Drew Brees when he was head coach of the Dolphins, which is a bold-faced lie, and it made me it reignited my hatred for that man.
Good. But yeah, we've got that to talk about. The vaccination thing is so interesting.
Let's just call Cole Beasley up. Let's just see what he has to say about this.
Yeah.
He seems to be the most well-informed and researched individual in the NFL on this topic.
And, well, Will Stocking says, look for a Big Ten to go after Iowa State and Notre Dame. I would assume so. I would assume Kansas gets in there, Kansas State. It's going to get big. He also says in the Heritage Pub Facebook comment thread, Pac-12 would be a good fit for TCU, Texas Tech, Baylor, and Oklahoma State if Oklahoma legislature can't drag Oklahoma State with OU. The other thing is, what was it? Yeah, we'll get to that. So, Erickson's brought it up. So we don't have to spend too much time on it. The Packer organization is in some serious trouble.
Yeah, they're in the deep end right now without a life preserver.
Yeah, their GM, their front office is going to take the hit on this, right? Wouldn't you assume?
Yeah, you'd have to think.
And they're gonna take the brunt of all the blame in this.
And they haven't built up a lot of goodwill as of late anyway. I don't know any Packers fans who were excited about the Jordan Love pick.
So we still don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing. The Packers organization doesn't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing.
Except we know he's turning down contracts to be the highest paid player in NFL history.
That's a BS thing anyway. Like that's smoke and mirrors by the Packers organization. If you're a Packers fan, you should be upset because basically what they're doing is they're adding more years and showing that we can cut you at this time to save money on cap room. So like if they cut him, it's like a $17 million drop if they cut him after next season or after this season, something like that. Okay, so he's on contract for 2022, 2021, 22, 23. All right.
Yeah.
So they can't cut him, and I think it's between these two. So you guys can look it up. You guys are better off at doing this stuff, and I'm not going to go Google his contract, but I do know it's either between this season and next or between the second and third year. The writing's on the wall that they're going to get this much on cap room if they cut him. So that's where he's upset about the pick, but he's also upset like, I see what you're doing here. I don't like this contract.
Yeah.
And when they added the 2 years, they basically just did the exact same thing with those 2 years. And he's like, that's exactly my problem.
Right.
That you can just cut me and send me on. On top of it, I said it on Wednesday. I'll say it again. Who wants him for 5 years?
Who wants Rodgers for 5 years? At this point, what is he, 37? 37?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's following this TB12 method like he says he has been, Brady's what, 42 and just won a Super Bowl? And he says he's going to play another 2 years.
Aaron Rodgers following any method but his own method.
That's what I read, that he was following the TB12 method. So I think that means you either do or you don't eat strawberries. I don't remember. What is it? Tom Brady doesn't eat strawberries. That's like a big part of his method.
Okay.
Strawberries are the devil. Mama says.
I like strawberries.
I don't. I actually
Really?
don't. I like pretty much all foods. Strawberries, not my thing.
I like strawberries. My kids think I'm crazy. I always tell them it's nature's candy.
Avocado smoothies, big part of the TB12 method.
I've never had an avocado smoothie, but I feel like maybe I should incorporate that in my life now.
I got one of them pickle slushes from Sonic once. That was awful.
Yeah, no.
That's
I'm not doing that.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's probably not part of the TB12 method.
The pickle slush?
Slush. If you ever get a chance, just pass.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to pass.
I did try pickle ice cream like a month ago.
Why?
I didn't learn my lesson.
Why are you doing all this? Like
I just want to know. I want to know, like, what does this taste like? Like that mac and cheese ice cream? Yeah, I like pickles.
Mac and cheese ice cream?
Yeah, they're making a Kraft mac and cheese ice cream.
Pass.
I'll try it. I will. Just one bite at least. It could be good.
No.
Well, what if it's your favorite food, but you don't know it yet? You just refuse to try it.
Well, I don't eat ice cream.
Oh, so I'm not a big ice cream guy, but I'll eat it occasionally.
Like I like dill pickle chips.
Yeah.
I have tried like mustard on watermelon.
How was that?
Wasn't bad.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a little out there.
There's some things on there TikTok that'll open your eyes to some things.
I don't do the TikTok.
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot out there though.
But yeah, 5 years for Aaron Rodgers. There's teams that would take that. There's teams that want to be relevant in the media that would absolutely do that. There's probably teams that just believe, hey, so we pay him for 5 years. If he gets us 2 or wins us at least 1 Super Bowl in those 5 years, it's worth it. You can't tell me, even myself as a Dolphins fan who very much does believe in Tua and his progression, if you tell me you pay Aaron Rodgers for the next 5 years an exorbitant amount of money, but he wins you 1 Super Bowl, I'm doing it because I'm 35 and my team sucks.
Well, I don't think he's going to find a contract that's any different than what he currently has. There's going to be a way that they're going to find a way.
He makes a lot of money. He still makes money. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying he's not worth it. I'm just saying that he
wants it fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Which there are teams that would do that. You telling me right now the Houston Texans wouldn't do that with everything they have on their plate?
If he goes to Houston, he's dumb.
Yeah, no. I mean, but at this point, he doesn't really have a choice if he gets traded.
He doesn't have a no trade clause? I don't know.
Does he?
I don't know if in the NFL if they have that or whatnot.
No, they do sometimes, but I'm not sure he has one. But yeah, there's plenty of teams that would guarantee a 5-year deal for Aaron Rodgers today.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's going to be after the year 3 that's going to be a drop-off salary cap, and he's still going to be running the same type of contract. That's all. Basically, what he's saying is, I don't like what you guys are doing, and I just really want out of here. And nobody's blinking or anything like that. Stocking says that Packers hold all the cards in this situation. I don't really think that is, but that's the case. But we do have to take our first break of the hour, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to Chrissy about the SEC Media Day. Before we do that, Merrick, everybody out there listening and on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, Ezekiel Elliott has 8,341 career NFL scrimmage yards. The third most by a player before his 26th birthday. Happy birthday, Ezekiel Elliott. You turned 26 yesterday. So Ezekiel Elliott has 8,341 career NFL scrimmage yards, the third most by a player before his 26th birthday. Who are the only 2 players ahead of him?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
We'll wait till after the break. That is not one of them. I'll give you that.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, there are only 2 players ahead of him who have had more career NFL scrimmage yards before his 26th birthday. All right, we're going to take a break here. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle, so local. We'll be right back.
The Rock says he's going to make your Rudy Poo candy ass famous. You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Headquarters, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Attention business owners. If your biggest question is, how can I find more customers? Then Town Square can help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis that will show you how the most successful businesses grow and how you can do it too. These strategies are simple, and we can show you how to apply them to your business. Be one of the first businesses to sign up, and you'll receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Janae and Golick Jr.
There are not a lot of places that actually get to claim a cartoon leprechaun. I am one of those places here. And so if anyone should understand what the Boston Celtics faithful, because I saw Big Baby Davis, I think Kevin Garnett, both spoke out defending Lucky after Kyrie Irving just went too far and stomped on him at half court of TD Garden. I think it's pretty fair to say I love Notre Dame more than most people love anything. Like, it's a weird obsession. Notre Dame's kind of like weird like that in general. And even I don't know if I missed the day they were handing out this lifelong competitive juice. I could not find it in me to get upset if another team decided to do that to the Irish. It's like I'd be more worried about the fact that we just got blowed the hell out. You can do whatever you want. Throw 40-yard touchdowns at the end of the game. If we're losing by 40, I'm sitting over there wondering why were we so bad that we lost by 40.
Janae and Golick Jr. 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Streaming only on Peacock.
What do you know about Dr. Dunch?
He was charming, intelligent.
My patients mean everything to me.
Based on the unbelievable true story.
I can't make sense of it.
Dunch has 2 deaths that we know of. The state of Texas has executed people for less.
It's like he knew what he was supposed to do.
And he did the exact opposite.
Dr. Death, starring Joshua Jackson with Christian Slater and Alec Baldwin.
I am going to fix you.
All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
Your legacy is important. Preparing your final wishes is a lasting gift to family and friends. Lock in and guarantee today's prices while alleviating the burden on your loved ones. Whelan Presley's pre-arrangement policies are guaranteed to be there when needed. You can even begin the pre-arranging process from home. Log on to WhelanPresley.com or contact us to get started. Trusted over 130 years, Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory.
We would be honored and privileged to serve you.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
Julio Jones does move on. He will be with the Tennessee Titans. And Key, you were shooting it down, saying it's not a good fit.
You're looking at him and you're saying production is going to come because they're going to throw the ball. They're not going to change their style. They've gone to the AFC Championship game, a couple playoff appearances on the backs of that running back in Derrick Henry. You think about the philosophy and style that Vrabel wants to play. They want to be big up front. They want to run the football. So you trade for Julio Jones, when many people think Julio Jones is on the way backside of his career based on injuries. But I don't necessarily like it for Julio, and I don't know what to make of it for the Titans because of the style of play. They're not going to be the Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not going to do that.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Baseball is back. And you can catch every swing of the bat, every double play, and every strikeout at Circle Tap in Davenport. Watch every game on one of their 17 flat-screen TVs. Or enjoy their beautiful outdoor patio. Get $1 Bud Family Drafts during every Chicago baseball game and take advantage of their daily food and drink specials. Plus, enter to win your favorite Chicago baseball team swag bag. It's valued at over $200. Enjoy great food, great drinks, and great friends all baseball season long at the Circle Tap, West Locust Street, Davenport.
For the brightest hand-selected diamonds, come to Dolan Jewelers. This is Will Dolan, and we want to offer the best diamond experience for every client and every occasion. At Dolan Jewelers, we carry the most popular shapes and sizes, as well as a huge inventory of lab-grown diamonds. With custom goldsmiths right here in our store, your experience will be convenient, easy, and fun. Visit us at 3865 Elmore Avenue in Davenport or online at dolanjewelers.com.
Your sports leader is new and different every day. Download the ESPN 1170 app today.
Hey, good afternoon. Don't Hassle So Local here at ESPN 1170 AM. It's Friday, July 23rd. The day before the Big 7. We had the race up the hill yesterday. Congratulations to all those young kids out there that are going to win the Junior Bix this afternoon. I don't know how many times I've said enough. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've said enough how much the Junior Bix thing is. Yeah, post all you want that your kid won Junior Bix. No, he didn't. They all did. They all get a medal. It's this is my running every year thing, except for last year, obviously. Yesterday, Minnesota Twins traded Nelson Cruz to the Tampa Bay Rays. They also traded Calvin Faucher to them as well for Joe Ryan and Drew Strotman. Joe Ryan is rated as high as up to 10. Some publications 17, some 10 in the Tampa Bay Rays minor league system. And he's also right now, let's see, number 6 in strikeout to walk ratio among pitchers in AA and AAA this season, with a minimum of 30 innings pitched. So thank goodness they just didn't get another middle infielder. Scores around the league: the Detroit Tigers beat the Rangers 7-5. Braves 7-2 over the Phillies on the road. Red Sox beat the Yankees in extra innings 5-4, and the Rays in Cleveland, they went in extra innings as well, but the Rays came out on top 5-4. Padres went to the Marlins. They won 3-2. Cardinals hosted the Cubs. They win 3-2. Angels over the Twins. Giants beat the Dodgers, take 3 out of 4, I believe. And then the Athletics beat the Mariners 4-1. This afternoon, the Cubs will be playing at 1:20. They host the Diamondbacks. Zach Davies will be on the mound for the Cubs, 5-6 in the year, 4.35 ERA. But the rest of the games in the Major League are all night games. Baltimore 6:05 will host the Nationals. Philly and Atlanta at 6:05. Boston and the Yankees 6:10. Cardinals go to Cincinnati. That'll be a 6:10 first pitch. Wade LeBlanc's on the mound for them. He's 0-2 on the year, 4.31. Rays at Cleveland. Padres at Miami. Toronto at the Mets. Texans, Rangers at Houston. Detroit and the Royals. White Sox will throw Giolito on the bump. 8-6 in the year, 3.90. That's going to be against the Brewers. Is this going to be a World Series possible matchup? Who knows? But should be a fun series for them. That'll be a 7:10 first pitch. Twins continue to host the Angels tonight, 7:10. Giants host Pittsburgh. Rockies go to the Dodgers, and the Oakland A's and Seattle continue. All right. I've never met Chrissy before. We've never talked to Chrissy before, but she was at SEC Media Day. So we're going to give her a call and hear some of the things she has to say about it and what's the possibility of the news that got broke up there.
Hello.
Hello, Chrissy. This is Jay here on ESPN 1170 AM. I'm in the studio with Merrick. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for the answering the phone call. We have a mutual friend in Emily Van Buskirk, and she's been on the show multiple times, and she told us that we should get a hold of you. You were down at SEC Media Day.
Yeah, I was.
How did you, who were you covering it for?
Mississippi State is the school that I specialize in now. I mean, I really do a lot across the entire SEC for the most part, and then I technically still cover LSU, not quite as much as I used to, but I've got about a month left on USA Today covering them as well.
Okay. The craziest thing that happened, there's two stories that really came out of SEC Media Days, and if there's more, please elaborate. But here in Iowa, the things that really focused on was first, Saban dropping the 7 figures of Bryce Young, and then obviously the news of yesterday. What was Media Days like?
I would say that all the media members, specifically on the second to last day, were probably pretty stressed out because of the whole Texas and OU potential to join the SEC, which seems like it's starting to actually gain some ground from what I can, at least the reports that I've seen. It looks like, I mean, they missed the call for a reason, I'm sure. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if they actually end up joining. But it seems like there's a pretty good possibility based on that. I mean, that doesn't happen for no reason.
Well, yeah, so we can talk about that then. So everything that I'm reading or hearing, that this has been something that they've been working on for about 6 months, and now this announcement could come as early as next week. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's been funny to kind of look around and see all the predictions for how the divisions are going to shake out and everything. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, if they actually do join, I don't really think that they're necessarily teams for a lot of the SEC to be afraid of, but I think we could kind of see some new rivalries start to emerge. It's going to be really interesting to see if Texas ends up with Texas A&M in the same division that they play each other more often, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and so the other stuff, and because you cover it, right away yesterday afternoon, A&M and Missouri both said that they did not want Texas and Oklahoma in there because they do not want to have to battle them for recruiting. And then so the reports are that the SEC met last night to talk about this, and they didn't invite Texas A&M to the conversation.
Yeah, it's just really weird to see all the stuff that seems to be going on behind the scenes. But I mean, if I'm a school like Missouri, I don't want them in either, because to me, Missouri is like the smallest, them and Vanderbilt, like the smallest powers of the SEC, and OU and Texas definitely trump them in terms of a lot, really, and definitely in recruiting. So I can see why smaller schools like that would not want that. And I think that maybe some of the bigger schools might, like LSU or something, I would at least in theory, I would think that it would make for some decent matchups.
Let me ask you, is this bigger than just college football? Does this extend into college basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it could, and I think that it affects the landscape a lot as far as that goes. I know that somebody had said something about how somebody from Mississippi State, or who was a Mississippi State fan, had talked about how they didn't want Texas coming in to play over on their court for some reason or another. So I think that that's a whole other conversation in itself of how people would feel about that, because obviously the way that sports outside of football shake out is drastically different across the SEC. Because, I mean, I never really covered baseball all that much until this past season. And that's like the one thing that Vanderbilt really seems to have going for it. So that's just an example of how other sports, it just creates a whole lot of different conversations and different effects. It's definitely going to have a major impact, though, for sure.
Oh, 100%. And since you brought it up, yeah, I mean, Texas is, I don't know if Augie's still going to, I think it might be Augie's last year, but Texas is obviously has its history, and going to the SEC, that just makes that conference even better in college baseball. So it should be interesting to see if this expands to more than just football, or do you see it as just the college football breaking away from the NCAA altogether?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something that could potentially happen, but I think that football is definitely going to take the center stage of the conversation.
So what was the media around with the new NIL? Was there a lot of talks going on with you guys about what's going on, and Saban dropping the 7 figures?
Yeah, there was a decent amount of talk surrounding that. It was a pretty popular question. I know that Mike Leach was asked about it at least in our pre-session before he made his appearance. I think he was probably asked about it when he made his appearance as well. But basically what he said was that he thought that Mississippi State was a really great place to build your brand, and I don't think that there was a lot of talk about just specifics of athletes that have done that at Mississippi State. I mean, there's a few that have done like some small things, but nothing like on a super huge scale that I've seen at State. I mean, at LSU, you have people like Olivia Dunn who could be the most profitable out of everyone. Mm-hmm. So I think that we could see some bigger deals going around to other schools. And then Jimbo Fisher had made some comment about NIL, about how something, I can't remember the exact comment, I have to pull it up, but he had said something to the tune of that name, image, and likeness has been going on for quite a while now. It's just that now everyone's on a level playing field. They kind of laughed after that.
Well, I get that. I mean, it's been going on a long time. I mean, if you go back, and I'm going to date myself, but if you're going to go back into the mid to late 80s and you have Brian Bosworth with the haircut, the Boz, can you imagine what he would have done with that then? And I talked to Emily on Wednesday, and I said, and I'm going to ask you, Chrissy, do you think you're going to see more things like a hairstyle? It doesn't matter if it's just a lightning bolt in your hair or whatever else. Do you think you're going to see things like celebrations? T-shirts. What do you think that we can look forward to as the college landscape goes forward into the fall of 2021?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of unique things as people try to build their brand, or people try to support other brands that they're partnering with that may extend to some of those things that you talked about. But I mean, the only concern that I have is, I mean, when you think about it, players making the decision to graduate. I mean, there inevitably are going to be some guys that are like, well, I already have this amount of money, like, why would I stay in school? And it's weird because it almost creates this thing to where a guy could be someone who has high expectations surrounding him going into the season, and then he ends up kind of flopping, but all his deals he made ahead of the season might be enough to where it's almost like, hey, if I don't go on to the NFL and be successful, it's really not that big of a deal because look how much money I've already made. And then you also think about the recruiting aspect and stuff like that. You just kind of have to hope that people stay focused on football and focused on the football programs. And I think that maybe even later on that extends to something like the transfer portal, where maybe some of these players come to the realization that I was kind of bought into all the, I call it the flashing lights surrounding it between NIL and the other stuff. And then they realize that they don't quite fit into the football program the way they want to, or that they're not having success there the way that they want to.
Yeah, so do you think this is going to be, I mean, I'm pretty sure it is, but the word, and now Saban threw it out there, and you did as well, and you said Jimbo Fisher did it also, the brand, either our brand, meaning like Alabama saying like, you know, when he said like, well, he hasn't thrown a pass yet, but he's making almost 7 figures because of our brand, or even a player saying our brand. Do you think this is something like the schools are going to have to bring in content coordinators to show how they can, if you come here, you can be an influencer and you can make money? Do you think there's going to be a new type of way of recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're going to have to do that, because right now, when I'm the number one quarterback in the country and maybe I want to go somewhere that's seen a lot of success and where I'm going to make a lot of money, it's probably going to come down to like Notre Dame, Alabama, places like that, literally. And it could create this thing where there's only like 4 or 5 schools that these top recruits are considering, whereas before this was a thing, maybe they would have gone, well, like, it's really great to have these offers, but I really can see myself expanding at this school. And suddenly, maybe because of all this, that school is no longer in the conversation no matter what.
You know, there's some people, and we're on Facebook Live as well, and people sitting there, there's a comment on here that says, like, people aren't going to just give kids money. It isn't a good business model. I kind of, right now, maybe that won't be that way in the future, but, I mean, there's reports right now that 17-year-old basketball player Mikey Williams, and he's a top prospect in the class of 2020, 23 signed an NIL deal with Excel Sports Management, and that could be upwards also in the 7 figures. So this is going down into 17-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it definitely has a lot of influence as far as these deals go. And I mean, you can say that people are going to throw money at them, but I mean, there's already been plenty of places that have thrown a lot of money at these kids as far as the brands and the companies go. As far as the schools go, it's pushing all that and trying to make sure that the kids think that they're going to get these deals whenever they come there. I mean, that's definitely going to be a part of it, because and the other thing too is that when you think about the money aspect of the deals that they think that they can make at these schools, we have to remember that these are not all of them, but not all of them are clearly thinking like rationally. I mean, if you would have come up to me whenever I was 17, 18 years old, and there was this one school that I really liked, that I thought I could play really well at, that a program that appealed to me, but they didn't really have a lot of opportunities as far as NIL. And then there's another one that has some prestige surrounding it where I could go make $2 million. Then at age 17, not thinking about the long term, I'm probably going to go to that second one.
Yeah, absolutely. The interesting thing about it is, let's say they are sold on the brand and what they can make, and then maybe they don't, and the next kid comes in. That is the transfer portal going to be, clogged up because now they want to go to. Now someone comes up and says, like, you can make more money on the East Coast because look at what the New York schools can do, or whatever else, or you should come to UCLA because it's Hollywood. Like, you brought that up, that maybe at the time you signed for it, but do you think the transfer portal thing will open up even more and kids will just start going around keeping their name out there? I mean, because sometimes even bad news is good news.
Yeah, no, I think that we're definitely going to see a further explosion of the transfer portal, and I think there's already so many people in there that kind of jumped the gun that haven't found a landing spot. Maybe they're having second thoughts about that. But yeah, I think that when it comes down to making money, and if you choose a school for purely the reason of making money and you don't get what you want there, then you think that there's a better opportunity. Yeah, and like I said, these are also young people that we're talking about, and so if they don't see an opportunity there for something that they came for, whether it's for the right reason or not, then yeah, they're gonna jump over and try to go find it somewhere else if someone can convince them of that.
Gotcha. Chrissy, who's your favorite coach to ask questions to in the SEC?
Definitely Mike Leach.
Yeah.
That's definitely the one that I communicate the most with. And I mean, that comes down to two different things. Like, he's a very interesting person. You can have a lot of interesting conversations with him, but a lot of people get so hung up on that, like, oh, like, let's ask him weird questions about this, this, and this. And yeah, like, it's funny and it's entertaining. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of appreciation for the air raid offense. I got certified in that offense for a reason. I've studied it extensively, and I like to have just to be able to talk to the person who literally was the architect of that offense, and just to get down into the nuts and bolts about, just things about how you can improve a running back's versatility and how that works and how that transfers over into the NFL, and things you look for in quarterbacks and air raid quarterbacks compared to other quarterbacks, and how there's a misperception of that air raid quarterbacks or system quarterbacks, which is something that I don't agree with at all. And so I like to talk about that side with him, and he's always very open and very helpful and always has a lot of really interesting things to say about that. So, I mean, yeah, every now and then it's funny to hear him like go off on those tangents, and it's entertaining, and I guess it's kind of nice to have someone that's not purely in coach speak, but I mean, the other aspect of that I really, really do appreciate a lot.
Well, we have known Emily for quite some time, and she always has very great stories about Mike Leach. Have you had the chance to sit down and split a bottle of Latitos with him?
No, we haven't done that. He invited me out to a meeting that not necessarily the meeting, but the practice during the spring, and so I went and was at the practice just kind of to observe some things. It's back when I was doing a lot of 7-on-7 stuff too, and was more so there to figure out how to implement some of those concepts and how they drilled them and stuff like that. So I was out there for like, gosh, like a 3.5-hour practice, and then I went and sat in on the meeting and was there until like 11 o'clock at night, and I learned a lot of really interesting things. So yeah, I mean, I've sat down with Mike Leach quite a bit, but I mean, I definitely haven't drank with him. I think that'd be really interesting to see. I haven't heard that full story yet.
Yeah, she's always got fun stories when she's met so many coaches and got to sit down and talk with them, and it's not just like in a social setting, like learning the game and ask the questions, and I think it's fantastic you do it. Chrissy, I want to thank you for taking our phone call. Can you tell everyone where they can follow you on social media?
Yeah, it's Chrissy_Floyd on Twitter, and most of my work is between the Draft Network, USA Today, and Sports Illustrated.
That's great. Thank you so much for the phone call. I appreciate the time, and take care, and we will be following you.
Yeah, you as well.
Thank you, Chrissy. Have a wonderful day. Just hung up on there like that. She was ready to go. Anyway, no, that was great. There was a lot of stuff going on there. I mean, she's
dialed in. That's
absolutely true. All right, we are going to have to take a break, come back, and then we've got a lot more to talk about. Oh, by the way, did you have any guesses on our trivia question?
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson, huh? Not O.J. Simpson. All right, the trivia question was, and I'm going to give it to you again for the people out there, and then I'm going to give you the answer. Ezekiel Elliott has 8,341 career NFL scrimmage yards, the third most by a player before his 26th birthday. Yesterday was his 26th birthday. 8,341 career NFL scrimmage yards, the third most by a player before his 26th birthday. Who are the only two players ahead of him? Do you want me to give you a hint before I give you the answer?
Okay, yeah.
1977 and 1993 NFL MVPs.
Emmitt Smith?
Emmitt Smith is one of them. He had 8,759 scrimmage yards.
77. Not really my best year for watching football. I was -9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Eric Dickerson is.
That's too. That's too.
It's a little later. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Walter Payton.
Okay.
Sweetness himself.
All right. I apologize to all
running
the Bears
balls
fans
like
listening.
making romance. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl chance. Now, we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. Didn't come here looking for trouble. Just came down to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
It's incredible.
Thanks.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Coach A.C. Earl. Don't hassle us, we're local.
Tyson Fresh Meats in Joslin wants you to join their team. If you're a motivated individual, this career is for you. They have immediate openings in maintenance technicians. Make up to $23.70 per hour and progress up to $33.75 with daily attendance incentives and a $3,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today to get your $3,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $3,000 sign-on bonus. Go to TysonFoods.com/careers. Feed your future with Tyson Fresh Meats. Join the fun in downtown Davenport at the Bix Block Parties. Bix Weekend, July 23rd and 24th. Enjoy a wide variety of local food, drinks, live music, activities, and more. Bix Block Parties are supported by the Downtown Davenport Partnership with the goal to celebrate downtown neighborhoods with multiple blocks of events programmed by local business owners throughout downtown. Sponsored by this station. Parties, bridge to bridge. See you at the Bix Block Parties, July 23rd and 24th. Visit downtowndavenport.com for more details.
The Max Kellerman Show. Did Floyd carry him? He didn't press for the knockout, but let me say something about Logan Paul and his brother Jake. They love boxing. They have passion for it. There's other ways for these guys to make money. They choose boxing, which is a tough road. So you have to really love it, which they do. They respect the sport. They never disrespect it by training as hard as they can, absorbing as much as they can, learning it, fighting as hard as they can and as well as they can, and then moving on to the next. And by the way, doing a great job promoting the sport and having people put their eyeballs on it. I don't know. I'm not mad at the Paul brothers for that. I'm not going to be mad at Floyd for making $50 to $100 million for an exhibition. Now, that's what it was, an exhibition. It was an exhibition. Floyd was exhibiting his boxing skills against a novice boxer who's much bigger than him.
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Back to school season is on. Get best-in-class savings at JCPenney. Gear up with 40% off backpacks from brands that always have their back. And shop smart on doorbusters across the store while they last all weekend long. That means stocking up on essentials like $5.99 select kids tees and $14.99 select kids shorts. Don't forget to use your coupon to save an extra 25% and check everything off your list in one easy trip. Weekdays are back in style. JCPenney. Offers and coupon valid through 8/4. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti.
Does Aaron Rodgers get moved before the season starts?
The two teams in the AFC for me would be the Raiders. And I know they got Carr, but you send Carr back to Green Bay. I know John Gruden he's probably sitting there just trying to figure out how to get that done because he's never satisfied with the quarterback spot. And
Never.
Think about it. He tried to get Brett Favre when Brett was 60. So, I mean.
But if you think about it, though, as far as location goes for Aaron Rodgers,
He was Vegas.
Vegas
West
would
Coast.
be, Vegas would be optimal. Obviously, Bay Area, where that would have really been.
That's why he was
better
really
for
pushing.
him. Yeah.
He was really pushing for that San Francisco opportunity because they had a winning team. And the Raiders, maybe he is a guy who can kick them over the top. But those are the two teams in the AFC that make sense.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
This is a big deal. Now at healthcare.gov, millions more people can get affordable health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as August 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Score a major payday with BetMGM. It's the best time to sign up for the king of sportsbooks because they're giving new customers a shot at an easy $100. Register using code FOSTER100 and win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on the Cubs or Diamondbacks. And if either team hits a home run, you win regardless of your bet's outcome. Whether you're raising the stakes on summer baseball or wagering on your favorite soccer team, BetMGM is always ready for action. Enjoy innovative parlay selection builders, daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use code FOSTER100 to win $100 when you bet $1 on the Cubs or Diamondbacks and either team hits a home run. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. New customer offer, paid and free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 or older. Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
On your radio, on your phone, on Alexa. This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Afternoon, Don't Hassle the Local, July 23rd, 2021. Happy birthday to Nomar Garciaparra. He turns 48 today. Fun fact, he's probably one of my favorite baseball players of all time.
Why is that?
I saw him play at the College World Series when he was at Georgia Tech. Veritek was the catcher for them as well. In the semifinals, they beat Cal State Fullerton. And I was a big Cal State Fullerton fan. Mark Kotze is still my guy. He's the first base coach for the Oakland A's now.
Oh, there you
But
go.
I saw Nomar and loved the way he played. And he came up at the same time as Jeter. And you got to make a decision. It's like Pearl Jam or Nirvana. You got to make a decision. And I stuck with Nomar. So happy birthday to him. Plus, he's married to Mia Hamm. And he could have, he grew up playing soccer, also kicked. He could have played, probably could have kicked in the NFL as well. Nomar's, he's good. He's underrated, I'm telling you. But, all right, Major League Baseball. Let's talk about it, Merrick. You seem to be wearing the gear. We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, it was
Cleveland
inevitable.
came out and said, I think it was a few years ago, they said we're going to lose Chief Wahoo, who you happen to have on your lid right now. For those that are watching
this is not a political
Facebook
statement,
Live.
okay? For anybody
No,
watching,
geez,
this is
yeah.
not a political statement. I just like the hat. It fits well. It matches the T-shirt I'm wearing, so chill out.
I don't think it's a big deal or whatever else. If someone has a problem with it, then so be it. we're gonna not incorporate Chief Wahoo anymore.
Understandable.
Even though great portion of the logo in the 1989 hit Major League.
Yep. Iconic baseball logo.
Yep, 100%. And then they came out last year after the George Floyd thing and said, listen, the Indians has got to go to the wayside. And how long have they been the Cleveland Indians? Since like 45 or something like that?
No, 1915.
1915. 30 years or more. I was 30 years off.
106 years.
So they're like, we're not going to be it. So then there's speculation that they're just going to be called the Cleveland Baseball Club, much like the Washington football team.
That's boring. Didn't want it.
They gave 5 options to the fans of the Cleveland Indians and or residents of Cleveland, whatnot. The options were the Cleveland baseball team, like I said, the Spiders, which is what they were before that, the Guardians, the Rockers, the Municipals. That's 5, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So the Municipals. All right. Something to do with a building in Cleveland, municipality or whatever else.
Yeah.
The Rockers.
Well, the old ballpark was called Municipal
that's what it was.
Park.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So, and then the Rockers obviously a nod to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Cleveland Rocks.
The Spiders because they were the Spiders beforehand.
Yep.
Cleveland Baseball Club because why not? I mean, that's what we do now. And you have the Guardians because of the Guardian of the Freeway?
Guardian of Transportation or Guardian of Traffic, something like that. It's a statue built into a bridge overlooking and making sure that travelers get to their destination
Isn't
safe.
like St. Thomas the patron saint of travel? Can't we just, you want to call them the Tommies then? If that's what we're doing,
God,
the Guardians. So there's a statue overlooking in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, it's built into the bridge there.
Okay. Now
it's a cool looking statue. Don't get me wrong, really cool looking statue.
The thing is this.
For those who don't know, the Indians will be changing their name to the Guardians beginning next season.
They've announced it this morning. They did it over Twitter. Tom Hanks narrated it because they just thought
they tried to get me with that Tom Hanks too.
We have Tom Hanks do it. No one's going to be upset. The thing is the name change we know. Is this really going to be the logo? Is this going to be the font or it's...
Oh, no, this is legitimate. Yep. They just released it. I was scrolling through Instagram during the last break, and they released all the logos. That's legitimate. That script is legitimate. They've changed the block C to... They have, like, all these, like, fancy marketing ways to tell you why they did it. And they're like, well, the points on the new C represent the base path, and the C is tall and strong, just like the statue that overlooks the city. I'm just like, chill out. It's literally just a red C.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the tweet right now, the video that they sent out this morning at 8:35. There's a statue. I see that.
You know, they're trying to pull on your blue collar heartstrings.
Well, really, the thing that we're looking at here is Guardians rhymes with Indians.
Yeah, very similar.
It's like, you didn't really go too far. You didn't stretch too far on this. And your logo, the colors are very similar.
I mean, based on how they've been playing lately, Jay, I would have called them the Comedians.
But
yes, I'm here all night. Well, until 2.
Yeah. The logo, the Guardians. Indians.
When I had heard this name, a few weeks back, as talks were ramping up about an imminent announcement, and I keep thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie. I guess another choice they were mulling over was the Avengers, which would have been even worse. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, the name will probably grow on me, but this little baseball with the wings growing out the back of it, that is so minor league right there. That is so just cheesy. Like they were told this morning, hey, we're making the announcement. Somebody get on clip art and make us a quick logo.
Yeah.
Intern in 3 minutes did it. And let's not forget, there literally was an XFL team named the New York Guardians.
Thank you.
So you're like, hey, why don't we name ourselves after a minor league football?
I wonder how much you have to pay for that website or even the for the, because now they're going to have to change their for Twitter, and which I think you can change or whatever else. But Guardians probably, I'm sure that's like, theirs probably was Guardians XFL. Or
They're going to have to call up The Rock and try to make a deal, see what happens there. But I just don't like it. I think the script is fine. I think the updated Cleveland font is good. I hate the baseball logo, and I'm not a fan of the name. It just sounds so, like I said, minor league. It sounds like you're creating a franchise on Madden or MLB The Show, if they let you do that, and you were given 10 names to choose from. And you're like, well, this one sucks the least,
Yep. What would you have gone with?
I really think the Tribe. I would have called them the Cleveland Tribe because it doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with Native American culture, which I understand they were trying to get away from that. And, whether you believe that's right or wrong, it's not here or there. But a tribe is just a group of like-minded individuals, people that are working towards the same goal, Like if me and my friends go to work out at the same time and we're all lifting weights, that's our tribe in that moment. It has nothing to do, it doesn't have to have anything to do with Native American culture. So as long as you stay away from Native American imagery and your logo and whatnot and your fonts and your scripts, you're fine. And they have been calling the Indians the Tribe for decades now. And so it wouldn't have been that difficult of a transition to make. People and fans of the team, like myself, would have been all aboard. Let's go. That's cool. The Cleveland Tribe. Let's do it. But we have the Guardians.
Why not Wahoos?
Well, I mean, so that does honor a very specific chief, which is the reason why they're named the Indians in the first place.
Okay, that makes sense. Then stay away from that. Okay.
And so there was a player that was a Native American on the Indians, one of the first Native American players in Major League Baseball, and he played for the Indians. And when they were changing their team name from the Spiders to something else, they were like, well, let's honor this guy, and don't quote me, I might be wrong, but he might have been the first Native American Major League player. Let's honor him by naming the team after him. And I believe they had originally named, the team was also called the Naps at one point, which was named after a Native American player coach for the Indians. So, I mean, it's really ingrained in the history of the team. So, Chief Wahoo, whatever, again, it was a caricature depiction of a Native American. I understand why it had to go, and I was fine with that. It's okay. You don't want to put that on TV, that's fine. But
okay, why not the Rockers?
I didn't like Rockers because it was too close to Rockies, and there's already a team called the Rockies, so I didn't want that one. I was fine with the Spiders. I actually don't like spiders. Not a fan of spiders.
I don't like spiders either.
They creep me out. They creep a lot of people out, but that hasn't stopped me from watching Spider-Man movies. Or, buying my kids Spider-Man t-shirts. And think of the merchandising possibilities with the Cleveland Spiders. You could add some really cool logos, some cool gear.
Absolutely.
They could, when they mow the grass in the outfield pattern to look like something cool, you could add a spider's web out there.
Yeah.
It would have been neat. It would have been cool.
That would have been good. I know this was said, I believe it was on Dan Patrick. Could have been on McAfee. I don't think it was. But, yeah, in the outfield, a certain area, it's the web.
Yeah.
Kind of like with the dog pound, you have the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you could have got some really cool logos out of that. People would have bought a crap ton of hats and jerseys and T-shirts.
You have
and
multi-level, like the stadium's multi-level. You never know when a spider's is going to drop down. And
I'm fine.
Instead of doing the T-shirt gun, the spider drops down and drops, free.
I'm cool with it.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I would have been fine with it. I would have been fine with the municipals because that is that's a throwback to the old stadium, the municipal stadium.
But how do you shorten that?
The Munis.
The Munis. That's not bad. I actually like the Munis.
And then when you go to buy a jersey, you're buying a Muni.
The Muni. I actually like Munis more than the municipals.
And that's unique. It's creative. It's different. There's no other team named the Municipals.
No. I like the Munis. I just wish they would have done Cleveland Munis.
I would have been cool with it. Doesn't that sound like a baseball name, right?
Yeah.
Like you got weird names in baseball, like because they're all old school, like when people were weird
Yeah. No, I actually like that a lot more. That would be originally that would have if Cleveland. I was surprised the Cleveland Baseball Club thing didn't make it there. I was surprised not the Rockers. I do know that I thought the exact same thing. Like, what do you call them, the Rock? But then it's too close to the Rockies. But now you mentioned that, I like the Munis more, but it wasn't even in the top 5. So
no, but I would have been fine with that. Out of all of these 5, right? I would have ranked Spiders 1. I would have ranked Munis 2. I would have ranked probably. I don't know. I'm not a fan of baseball
team. It's the municipals.
Right.
We're making something better out of that.
It would have been short.
Like,
there's no doubt they're going to call them
chicken salad out of you know what.
Instead of calling the Guardians, they're going to be short. It's going to be called the Guards all the time. They're the Guards. All right. Yeah, it's terrible. It is. But I don't think I would have put Guardians last. I might have put baseball team last, and then maybe the Rockers 3rd, Guardians 4th, and baseball team 5th there.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's boring.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I never liked the baseball team. I just feel we're in this vanilla type of area that I was not shocked. I really thought it was going to be the Rockers.
I was convinced Spiders. I really was. I was convinced it was going to be the Spiders. Just because
the colors for it goes well. Then you can make a deal with MCU. It
would have been cool.
Yep,
it would have been cool. But if there's one thing about this current Cleveland Indians squad, is that they're going to disappoint you in every way possible.
They're not going to do anything.
My favorite part
is
they mocked up like some of the players in the jerseys, and like Jose Ramirez was one of them. And I'm like, he's never even going to wear this jersey. You guys are going to trade him. It's like, I'm not dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to trade him. Name the last time the Indians paid up for any of their stars. You can't.
Yeah.
You literally can't.
Well, are they going to be trading are they going to be trading anyone away?
I don't know. They're, 7.5, 8 games back in the division, so that's not looking promising. And the wild card spot doesn't look good either. So I know Jose Ramirez is probably the next big star to go. You have Bieber as a trade chip as well. A couple more years of club control for both those guys, I believe. So you never know with this team. You really never know.
You sound frustrated.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's about the way when I sent text to my buddy about the Twins. I was like, if I find out that they traded for a middle infielder after drafting a middle infielder 4 out of the last 5 years in the first round, I'm going to lose it. I've said I'm just going to lose it. So I'm glad they got an arm out of the deal, and I'm happy for Nelson Cruz going down to, I guess the Padres went after him hard too, but why would the Padres go after Nelson Cruz, a 40-year-old DH?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, all right, well, we're going to get into this a little bit later in this hour, but might as well because Jason's asking the question, so let's just do it because there's a lot of speculation going on. It does say, Merrick, is CM Punk signing with AEW, or is this a scam?
Well, I don't have all of the insider knowledge that you may think I do. If I were CM Punk and they were offering me, what Tony Khan probably is offering, I'd have to think long and hard about it because CM Punk has had some post WWE careers that didn't go so well. He, tried to be an MMA fighter and he went 0-2, but they recently changed the one of the decisions to a draw because the guy tested positive for marijuana before the fight. That performance enhancing drug, marijuana.
Sure.
So I think he's 0-1-1.
Gotcha.
They give you a draw for that. He did a couple movies that didn't go so well, didn't make a lot of money. And then he wrote some comic books that, you're not getting paid well to do that. I don't know.
And he
maybe a
came
childhood
and he did
dream.
a post-rap show for a little bit for WWE. But so the CM Punk thing, the speculation that is, and do you have any ideas or if people writing how much his figures are? Or
I haven't seen anything written there, but you'd have to think that if Punk's going to do it, he would probably have been offered from WWE, which it's been reported many times that they've offered him a contract. I would imagine it'd be somewhere in the $5 million a year range, maybe $6 million a year range. I know a lot of their top guys now make around $3 million a year, so they'd probably offer him just a little bit more than that. So if AEW is going to lure Punk out of retirement, you're probably looking at anywhere between $7 and $10 million a year, which is a lot. That's a lot, and I don't know if you're going to get your money back on that, but AEW has proven time and time again that they don't care about money. They're just going to drop the big bucks to get the people signed. So, I mean, would I be happy to see CM Punk there? Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see CM Punk back in the professional wrestling business. I've been watching CM Punk wrestle since 2002, I think, was the first time I saw CM Punk wrestle live. Actually, support independent wrestling, because if you did back then, you would have been able to see CM Punk versus AJ Styles live in Rock Island, literally 5 minutes from where we are right now at the Hassle Castle. CM Punk versus AJ Styles in person, and it would have cost you like $10 back in the day. I think that was 2004, I want to say.
The Daniel Bryan rumors are there too.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it happening just because, he wants to work a limited schedule, less dates, and he loves wrestling. He loves wrestling a lot.
In AEW, they're doing a good job integrating with Impact, New Japan, which is what he can do. And it's also come out that the Divas, whatever, Strictly Bellas, whatever they're called, they're done with their show, so they're not under the NBC Universal thing with USA Today. Not that he has to do that or anything like that. We've seen Charlotte Flair and her fiance going in different directions as well. But the Daniel Bryan. Now, did we talk about this when? Did we talk about this? Were you here after the Aleister Black release?
I can't remember.
There's something really strange about this, and I don't know why this is not being pointed out. And I'm not someone, and I encourage anybody to call into here at the Hassle Castle at 563-391-3776 anytime. I'm just, every once in a while, I'll tune in on Sirius XM, the Busted Open show with Dave DeGreco, and Bully Ray will be on. And I was really close to calling in one time. It was after the Aleister Black, and this week I kind of was close too. How are we not seeing that maybe the WWE is fine with all these signings?
Oh, they might be. That's actually been a topic of conversation as of late, where WWE might say, "Hey, yeah, go spend all your money.
That's
Hire
exactly
these people.
it.
Go for it.
Go spend this money.
This is exactly what sunk WCW.
Go bury the young talent. Thank you. Go bury the young talent like WCW did, started in 1996. Go bury the young talent so that they're disgruntled. We'll sign them, like a Chris Jericho. We'll promote them. We'll do whatever else. And they're going to work harder to stick it to you. Go ahead and do it. And this is where it's going. Mark Henry, The Big Show, Aleister Black. Now you're going to, if you have Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, they're going to... Andrade. They're going to bury all this talent that's up and coming that they've been working so hard to move up. And then they're going to leave and get signed up. History repeats itself.
Oh, yeah.
And
Vince knows that. He's not a dumb businessman.
No. So why wouldn't you just be like, okay, it's okay, and be like, well, yeah, we're cutting them because of X, Y, and Z, and here's what's going to happen, we think. And I don't know, is Tony Khan smart enough to know better? Is Cody Rhodes going to stop it and be like, hey, this is not the way you want it to be?
Yeah, I don't know how tightly of a ship that place is run, just from conversations I've had with certain people. But I don't know. I don't know about Tony Khan's business acumen. I don't know if he's doing this because he wants to have a successful wrestling company, or he wants to have a lot of wrestler friends who want to hang out.
Or he wants to be the next Vince McMahon, but doesn't know how to run a successful business.
There's been a lot of people trying to be the next Vince McMahon.
Yes.
And how many people have succeeded?
Zero.
I wish them all the best. I hope they do well. I really do. And if they get Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, that's going to be appointment viewing for me. I'm going to tune in. Those two are, two of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and they're good dudes too. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But they have to be careful. They have to tread lightly, because you can't just throw all this money at people and then turn around and tell your investors and the people financially backing all of this that, oh yeah, we lost $20 million this year, but it's pretty good TV, right?
Yeah, but we got arenas, and we got people that come over from New Japan and whatnot. So, I guess the only way that, and I don't know how you make this happen or whatever else. I mean, I don't know if there'll be another Monday Night Wars. I don't know if there's no way Daniel Bryan or CM Punk is. I'm sorry, it's not the Outsiders. It's not the new Outsiders, unless you can make a storyline that's that good, but not with Your dirt sheets were something else in 96, 97, but not with the internet and the fourth wall being pulled back and everything else. I just don't see you can do that over again.
CM Punk is a huge coup. If they can get CM Punk, that is big. That's massive. And that's going to get a lot of viewers who have never tuned in to watch that show. It will. CM Punk's humongous. And, he's been gone from WWE for 7 years, and they still chant his name on every episode of television. However, Vince McMahon's not going to be outdone. You've already read the reports that The Rock is going to come back later this fall and possibly wrestle Roman Reigns at next year's WrestleMania. So AEW gets CM Punk. That's all well and good. But if Vince McMahon gets The Rock, who is literally the highest paid actor in all of Hollywood and maybe the biggest male celebrity on the planet, and not just wrestling celebrity, actual Hollywood celebrity, you get him to come back and wrestle on your biggest show of the year, that trumps getting CM Punk. It really does. It does. And how mad would CM Punk be if that's what happened? Because he'd be the talk of the town for a hot minute, and then just like it always was at WWE, some bigger name comes back, and it has been The Rock. He took the title off of CM Punk right before WrestleMania one year, and that was a big point of contention with Punk and his dislike towards Vince McMahon and WWE. How angry would CM Punk be if that happened once again and The Rock took away CM Punk's limelight? Because for him, it's always been about, I want to be considered the best. I want to be respected. I want everyone in the world to know I'm the best wrestler on the planet. And if suddenly now there's another debate that, well, no, The Rock's back. So, that was cool, AEW, and thanks for a couple months, but now we're going to go watch WWE again because The Rock's back.
I think it's going to have to be more than just this nice thing of going in and out of promotions. It's flirting with the territorious things, but I think you're going to have to get into a Monday Night Wars type of thing.
I think they need to really focus on their storytelling and their writing and create compelling storylines for us to tune in consistently.
Same thing with WWE, though. And I think this is a matter, because the Monday Night Wars made the WWE better. They looked at them and said, you're not doing your job.
And it actually already seems like WWE has been taking a long, hard look in the mirror, and the last few episodes of television have actually been pretty good. The fans are back now, which certainly helps, but they're getting back to some of that core storytelling and fun little surprises and things. And it's never going to be perfect. And if social media and Twitter was alive during the Attitude Era, there would have been plenty of angles that were crapped on back then too. So, everybody likes to romanticize the Attitude Era, and it was a really fun time for wrestling, but there was a whole lot of crap on those shows.
There's a lot of bad stuff that was going on. All right, let's take a break here. ESPN 1170 AM, Don't Hassle Us Local. When we come back, let's talk about vaccines in the NFL. We'll be right back here. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes.
The Rock says he's going to make your Rudy Poo candy ass famous. You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Turk Wendell, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local.
Streaming only on Peacock.
What do you know about Dr. Dunch?
He was charming, intelligent.
My patients mean everything to me.
Based on the unbelievable true story.
I can't make sense of it.
Dunch has 2 deaths that we know of. The state of Texas has executed people for less.
It's like he knew what he was supposed to do.
And he did the exact opposite.
Dr. Death, starring Joshua Jackson with Christian Slater and Alec Baldwin.
I'm going to fix you.
All episodes streaming now, only on Peacock.
Your Make Up My Weekend returns to downtown Rock Island. Saturday, August 14th, Caribbean culture comes to life with great food and live music featuring reggae and steel drum bands. Don't miss your headliner, Indica. Uncover the Jamaican culture at Coconut Grove and the Caribbean Market, offering authentic island wares. Plus a 220-foot zip line. It's a tropical paradise in downtown Rock Island. Saturday, August 14th, starting at 4 p.m. Your Make Up My Weekend. For more information, visit downtownrockisland.org.
How do you keep a workout fresh every day?
Clap it up, Peloton, let's do this!
By getting everything from endurance rides to restorative yoga, all right at home. The Peloton Bike. Nothing like working out from home. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Does Aaron Rodgers get moved before the season starts?
The 2 teams in the AFC for me would be the Raiders and I know they got Carr, but you send Carr back to Green Bay. I know John Gruden he's probably sitting there just trying to figure out how to get that done because he's never satisfied the quarterback spot.
Never.
Think about it. He tried to get Brett Favre when Brett was 60. So, I mean.
But if you think about it, though, as far as location goes for Aaron Rodgers.
He was Vegas.
Vegas would be, Vegas would be optimal. Obviously, Bay Area, where he's from, like that would have really been.
That's why he was
better
really
for
pushing.
him. Yeah.
He was really pushing for that San Francisco opportunity because they had a winning team. And the Raiders, maybe he is a guy who kicked them over the top. But those are the two teams in the AFC that make sense.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
At Target, we know there are a lot of firsts when it comes to going back to school. First looks, first bites, first day photos. So with lower prices and great deals like $8 jeans, $4 tees, and 50-cent supplies, make Target your first stop back to school.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Did Floyd carry him? He didn't press for the knockout, but let me say something about Logan Paul and his brother Jake. They love boxing. They have a passion for it. There's other ways for these guys to make money. They choose boxing, which is a tough road. So you have to really love it, which they do. They respect the sport. They never disrespect it by training as hard as they can, absorbing as much as they can, learning it, fighting as hard as they can and as well as they can, and then moving on to the next. And by the way, doing a great job promoting the sport and having people put their eyeballs on it. I don't know. I'm not mad at the Paul brothers for that. I'm not going to be mad at Floyd for making $50 to $100 million for an exhibition. Now, that's what it was, an exhibition. It was an exhibition. Floyd was exhibiting his boxing skills against a novice boxer who's much bigger than him.
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Tyson Fresh Meats in Joslin wants you to join their team. If you're a motivated individual, this career is for you. They have immediate openings in heavy skills, make up to $26 per hour, and a $6,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today to get your $6,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $6,000 sign-on bonus. Go to TysonFoods.com/careers. Feed your future with Tyson Fresh Meats.
Hey, Sarah, how's business?
It's going well. Our clients love our work. I just wish that we could figure out how to grow faster.
I hear you. Is it slow for everyone in your industry right now?
Actually, no. I see competitors all over who seem to be very busy, even though I know my work is better than theirs. I just wish I knew how they were finding new customers. If I could do it too, I know I could beat them.
I had that same challenge until I signed up with Town Square. Now my website is on page 1 of Google, and I'm getting leads every day.
Town Square? Was it expensive?
Not at all. Zero cost to build the site, no nickel and diming, and no contracts. Just a monthly subscription that I can cancel anytime. It's awesome.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis that will show you how the most successful businesses grow and how you can do it too with no risk. Be one of the first to sign up and you'll receive $500 in free advertising on this station. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
From the Vegas Gaming Cafe, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB Davenport, a Town Square media station.
$1:22 in the afternoon here. Don't hassle us, we're local on ESPN 1170 AM. We've been talking so much. We talked to Chrissy Freud about the SEC and Oklahoma and Texas. We did that in the first hour. You can go back and watch that on Facebook Live if you want to listen to that as well. We talked about the Indians' name change a little bit. Some of the news that are coming out AEW and about possible signings. But before we move on to the NFL, Merrick, what's going on this weekend? What do you got? What shows you got?
Oh, man, big SCW Pro independent wrestling that I help run. Cat's out of the bag on that. We got a show on Saturday at the Beer Stube in Moline, 8 p.m. start time, $10 tickets, headlined by a tables, ladders, and chairs match between the Iowa Wrestling Champion Xander Killen and former tag champion Joe Asa. So that's going to be a pretty fantastic match. That is for the Iowa Wrestling Championship. So 8 p.m., Beer Stube and Moline, $10 tickets. You're not going to want to miss that one. We're on the road to our 18th anniversary, Jay. Can you believe that?
18.
Yeah, I did an interview the other day, and they were like, well, so now that you're getting close to 20 years in the wrestling business, and I was like, wait, what? No, what? Yeah. Oh no. Like, that makes me feel real old. I remember when I was like the young kid, and I was 18 years old, and I would get to shows, and people would be like, oh, how old are you? And I'm like, 18, and they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. And now I've been in the business for 18 years. Our 18th anniversary at Wildwood in Iowa City. This will actually be our first indoor show since the pandemic started. Last March 2020 was our last indoor event. So we're getting back indoors at Wildwood in Iowa City on Saturday, August 14th, and that'll be our 18th anniversary event. Again, tickets are just $10. People are like, oh, it's your anniversary. You can raise ticket prices for that. And I said, no, I want to reward the people. I want you to come back. I want you to watch the best independent professional wrestling around, and that's us. That's what we do. So follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at SCW Pro for all of that information. But yeah, this Saturday at the Beer Stube, August 14th at Wildwood in Iowa City.
All right. So the NFL yesterday. Is this encouragement or is this a threat to get vaccinated?
A little bit of column A and column B there.
Love that. The memo from the NFL came out and said if a club cannot play due to a COVID spike in vaccinated individuals, we will attempt to minimize the competitive and economic burden on both participating teams. Every club is obligated under the Constitution and bylaws to have its team ready to play at the scheduled time and place. A failure to do so is deemed conduct detrimental. There is no right to postpone a game. What does that mean? Well, this is what it means. The NFL can't force players to get vaccinated, but in order to attempt to avoid outbreaks, they're going to make the lives of unvaccinated players very uncomfortable. So it's not a thing of if you're vaccinated. Because what we do know is this. The CDC came out this week and said, hey, just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean you can't get COVID.
Right, just the way you react to it, your
Yes.
symptoms and all of that.
Your symptoms
You're
will not
much
be
less
nearly as
likely
bad
to
or
be
whatever else.
hospitalized.
But they have said, and this is go across the board, and you people out there that are listening or on Harrington's Pub, you can tell me whatever else, and that, I saw this link or whatever else.
They read 3 Facebook articles.
Sure.
Jay.
But it has not been proven anywhere that you can still spread it if you get it. Do you know what I'm saying? You would assume you could, but there's been nothing out there that says you can. So what the NFL is just saying is that, okay, like, the NFL is saying, well, if you're vaccinated and you test positive, we're going to give you a little leeway. But if you're this person who's unvaccinated, refuses to get the vaccination, and you create an outbreak that we can't have a game, well, it's very possible you can lose your paycheck. But the team...
I'm pretty positive if a game gets canceled and your team has to forfeit, no one on your team gets paid, and no one on the winning team actually gets paid either.
Oh, really?
That's what I read yesterday.
I just thought
All
it was
game
definitely
checks are
it was a forfeit. And then yes, you're right. I'm looking at it right now from Axios Sports. The team responsible will forfeit, and both teams will lose their game checks,
which is incredible. Can you imagine? You're on the winning team. You're happy to get a win, but you don't get paid for that?
But it says if a game can't be played due to it, if the game is played afterwards. So basically, the NFL has to find a suitable date to reschedule. If they can't.
But they said they're not adding a 19th week.
No, they're not.
Not happening.
As of today, more than 75% of NFL players were at least partially vaccinated, and more than half of the league's teams have player vaccination rates above 80%.
Which is way higher than the average for all of America, all of Americans.
Yes.
Significantly higher.
Much higher. And you have to look at areas where the vaccination isn't that high. Looking at you, Houston Texans. Sorry, Dallas.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tennessee Titans.
I believe the Cowboys did come out and say yesterday that they're at like 80% or something, or somewhere high. Like they're actually
but
getting
so were
up
the
there.
Yankees.
Yeah,
Yankees were the highest in Major League Baseball,
Yeah.
and they got theirs right after.
So I believe
All-Star.
the rule is you have to have 2 negative tests within a 24-hour period to be allowed back if you are vaccinated. If you are
Mhm.
not vaccinated and you test positive, that's a mandatory 10-day banishment from the facilities and everything like that. So obviously you won't be playing.
The NFL mandated vaccinations for coaches, trainers, and support staff in April, saying they should all be vaccinated unless, quote, they have a bona fide medical or religious ground for not doing so. You read something to me. Someone got let go.
Minnesota Vikings offensive line coach fired today for refusing to get the vaccine. So there's our first casualty.
And he does not have a medical or religious ground for not getting it.
Apparently not. Otherwise, there's going to be a big lawsuit coming Minnesota's way.
DeAndre Hopkins came out yesterday, but he has since deleted the tweet that he couldn't believe it was getting to this and that he might really think of his future in the NFL.
Yeah. Whew.
That didn't age well. He deleted it.
Yeah, I had actually commented on that tweet as soon as he put it out there, and then it was deleted. So it's gone into the ether.
What did you comment?
I just commented that, he said, all this, like, I can't believe this is going to have me contemplating my future in the NFL. And I was like, so, hear me out on this. Maybe just get the vaccine. These NFL players are literally...
Just slow down.
Hear me out on this one. I think I have a solution.
I don't want to shock you, but just let's hear it.
These NFL players will load their bodies up with all of these painkillers and injections for, Toradol and all this other stuff, which has been proven to have just serious negative effects on your future well-being and on your mental state and all of this stuff. And they'll just bash each other's heads against each other time and time again, week after week, year after year, knowing that CTE is a real thing and that you will suffer from it at some point in your life. And they're like, again, take these shots and these injections and these pain pills. And they're like, well, I can't get the vaccine because I don't know what's in that. What's in your Toradol? What's in these painkillers that you've just been chewing on like chiclets for the last 15 years of your life? You know what I mean? You're not smarter than the doctors and the scientists that are advocating for you to take this vaccine. You're just not. You're not. I don't care how many Facebook articles you read. You're not smarter than them. If the doctor says do it, you do it. If you have a heart attack and you go to the hospital and the doctor says we need to inject you with this and we need to open you up and put this in your heart, you don't know what's in that. You don't know. But you do it because the doctor says if you want to live, you will do this. But now suddenly, because this has become a political issue, you have to do your research first. Well, have that heart attack, go to the hospital. The doctor says, I need to give you this drug so you don't die today. You're not going to turn around and be like, can you show me 3 Facebook articles that tell me I should get this done to me? No, you're just going to do it because a doctor tells you to do it. Stop being stupid. Literally, stop being stupid. You got to do it.
I believe, I'm going to be conservative and say 90, but I think it's actually over like the 95% that the COVID deaths related are from unvaccinated individuals.
Yeah, at this point, if you're dying from this, you were not vaccinated. That should tell you something. Get the vaccine. Is it going to work 100%? No. But will it dramatically decrease your chances of dying?
Are you telling people, or are you telling the NFL players that they should do it?
I'm telling everyone. At this point, we know how this virus spreads. We know what it does to you when you get it, or what it can do to you. And if not you, then somebody close to you, or even somebody that's not close to you. But a human life is a human life. If you're going to transmit the virus or the Delta variant or whatever, and all you have to do, and I've gotten both shots, and I'm fully vaccinated, and I'm good to go. If all you have to do is get poked in the arm a couple times and you can save somebody else's life, whether it's a stranger or somebody you care about, man, that seems like a pretty small price to pay. And how many people have been vaccinated for how long now? And there's very little to no side effects on most of these.
I don't think I'm in the belief that there's these side effects. I don't think of this thing where you're going to stick a magnet in your arm and it sticks to you. I don't have that.
You know what? I actually tested that out with one of my students who is a meathead, very much against the vaccine, and he's like, "But it's going to turn your arm into a magnet." Which, first of all, who cares? That sounds kind of cool.
Actually, it does.
Like if I could just walk around with fridge magnets on my arm.
You can't have an MRI the rest of your life, though.
I took a magnet. I stuck it to my arm. Guess what? Shocking. I know.
Gravity,
it didn't stick.
Gravity worked. That's the science that worked.
It didn't stick. Listen, I get it. For some reason this has been politicized, and some people are on the left and some people are on the right, and you feel like you're standing up for what you believe in if you don't get it, but at some point, you have to take a step back and trust the people who are in charge, who have spent their lives dealing with things like this. It It is their responsibility to keep the public safe. And we literally complained for how long about, oh man, we got all these restrictions and we're stuck inside and we can't go anywhere and we can't do anything. And then they give you the light at the end of the tunnel and they tell you, here it is. We solved the problem. Now all everyone has to do is get this shot and you're going to be all right. And then people still go, I don't know about that. I think I'd rather just whine and complain for the rest of my life.
But I'm not whining and complaining. All I'm saying is that when we talk about the people in charge, the CDC has thrown a lot of different things in my direction that I pay attention to, not on Facebook posts, not what everyone else is saying. CDC is all over the map. I mean, there was a time a year ago where we were wiping down Amazon gift boxes.
Yeah. And I mean, that'll happen, right? Things change and policies change and you go forward. But the people who are like, well, I'm not going to get the vaccine. Guess what, buddy? You are already vaccinated. You are. You had to get vaccinated to be allowed to enter kindergarten when you were a child.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm don't get me wrong. I'm not this person, and I think you know me well enough. I'm not this person.
No, I know. You're playing devil's advocate right now.
But like, this has been going on for years on social media. Like, I just had a kid, and I'm not going to have him vaccinated, and I don't want to hear it. I'm anti-vax or whatever. And that's fine. More what I'm talking about is what I listened to within the last 24 hours is people getting on their soapbox and being like, get vaccinated. I want football, and I want it now. And I'm not kidding you. These guys are getting paid to be in Sirius XM studios on fantasy football podcasts. And this guy's like, you get it right now. I don't want to hear about how you don't want it. I want football. And if I don't have football on Sunday, I am mad. And I'm like, whoa, buddy, I get your point, but your opinion really, I don't even know your name. Like, I know DeAndre Hopkins or whatever else. I know.
That's a pretty selfish reason to want people to get it. I'm more in the camp of get it so we can get over this and people don't have to die from this anymore.
I like your camp of there's other people out there that you need to be more conscious of. I like your camp.
And, I know people personally that have been at the brink of death because of this. People very close to me. And I know other people who are close to me had people close to them who died from this. So, I mean, it's not fake. This isn't fake news. Whatever you want to, believe, because again, you got on Facebook and somebody said this, and then you're just going to turn around and call people sheep. Oh, you believe everything that's sold. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. People literally, I don't know what the count is now, but millions of people have died. Like, what are we doing?
No, I understand. But the thing is that the NFL, and I think you have Major League Baseball, they came out and said, if you guys aren't up to 75%, we're not going to give you things like pool tables in the clubhouse or what you're used to, video games or whatever else. You can't hang out. NFL came out and said if you're vaccinated, and this was just during training camp, you have all the access to have all this wonderful thing that you're used to. If you're unvaccinated, you can't see your family, you can't be around your friends, you have to eat alone, you have to stay in the hotel, you have to do this and that. And they still have people that are like, don't care. But now, if the outbreak happens, your team's not getting paid, the other team's not getting paid, and NFL teams are going to have to recoup the loss of a lot of money.
And if that's one way to get through to somebody, it's mess with their money.
Sure.
If you're a vaccinated individual that's on a team and you have high standing within that team and you know of certain people on your team who refuse to get vaccinated, when that report came out that said you're not getting a game check if your team has to forfeit because of an outbreak, that person, no doubt, is going up to those unvaccinated people and they say, don't mess with my money, get the shot.
Are we going to get to the point where if you go to an NFL game, you have to show your vaccination card?
I don't know. But, I mean, I'd be willing to, and I don't understand why that would be such an issue. If you're going to be in a crowd of people and you want to make sure that everyone's safe, we all got a card when we got vaccinated. Just bring it and show it. It'd be like showing your ID to buy a pack of smokes.
Yeah, another issue that I don't care too much about. I don't care what anyone, when they're like, you shouldn't have to show your ID to vote, and it doesn't matter. In my situation, if they were like, well, you don't have your card, be like, okay, all right, so be it. That's just the way it is. I just think it's NFL came strong. I'm okay with it because in the end, they are employed by these people. And if your employer says you have to do it, then I think you probably have to do it. And sorry if I know it's infringing on my rights type of thing. Not really. You can go get another job.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, Long John Silver is always hiring.
Oh, they got great fish and chips.
Oh, I love it.
It's so good, though.
The downfall. Put some vinegar on it. Ooh,
the malt vinegar, yeah.
Love it.
That's going to give us COVID. That place is.
Right,
anything.
no.
Yeah.
If you survived Long John Silver's,
That's
get the shot. Nothing can harm you now.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah, I think it's interesting the stance that they took. I think, honestly, out of all things Goodell has done, I think he's in the right here. I really
agree.
do.
Yeah,
and
I do.
I don't have a problem with him saying like this and that. Listen, we have a business to run. We've been, we had to add another game because of lost revenue from last year. We had to do this and that. And it's the same thing. We can't have losses like this anymore. And the owner should be saying the same thing. Like, yeah, we can't do that. We can't have this. Now, I don't know how many owners might be in the school of thought of political.
Yeah,
right
sure.
or left, and being like, well, I'm not getting it or anything like that, and I'll risk it type of thing. So that'd be interesting to know, like how many owners actually have it themselves.
I would bet you it's almost all of them. Because even,
because they're old white guys.
Yeah, they don't want to die.
Yeah.
Even the main man who was spouting off about fake news this, fake news that, he got the damn shot before he left office.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That confuses me the most. But, I mean, it'll work itself out.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Hopkins is not going to retire from football.
He's not going to retire from football. He's probably at Walgreens today getting his first shot.
Probably.
Yeah, to be whatever. All right, we got to take a break here. Last break of the hour here at ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us local. We'll be right back. Merrick's in studio with me. Merrick, before we go, tell everyone where they can follow you. Are you still writing for those people?
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah,
LeftArmOfGod.com, writing about Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. Actually have some cool news. I can't reveal it just yet, so consider this a tease, but I got some cool news about some future writing opportunities.
That's
this
great.
Has gone so well. So
perfect. All right, we'll be right back here. ESPN 1170 AM.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Len Casper, the voice of the Chicago White Sox. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 1170.
I need some backup. I got to get these trucks to Tuscaloosa by Tuesday.
Trevor's Trucking needs 3 18-wheeler drivers with commercial licenses ASAP, or his company will stall.
If we don't move the rigs before this weekend, we're going to be in trouble.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
I don't know if I want Justin Fields right out of the gate just to be the guy. I would like for him to ease himself into it. But I started finding myself thinking, if he does start right out of the gate, does that buy Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace another year? Is it bad that I'm even putting myself in that situation now? I'm thinking about, are you doing what's best for the player, Justin Fields? Are you doing what's best in the interest of Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace to make sure that, hey, we gave our rookie a start, we gave him everything he needed, a quarterback like Andy Dalton who's there to help him out, build him up. It's going to take some time, guys. But we got to be patient.
This isn't Jacksonville. This is a playoff team. I wouldn't mind starting him immediately because they got pieces in place, especially on defense. Offensively, they've gotten better. Allen Robinson is back now. So when you look at it, it's like, if he wins the job, it might make sense to start him.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Good morning, Privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant!
I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
Astute observation, Private. Astute.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Does Aaron Rodgers get moved before the season starts?
The two teams in the AFC for me would be the Raiders. And I know they got Carr, but you send Carr back to Green Bay. I know John Gruden he's probably sitting there just trying to figure out how to get that done because he's never satisfied the quarterback spot.
Never.
Think about it. He tried to get Brett Favre when Brett was 60. So, I mean...
But if you think about it, though, as far as location goes for Aaron Rodgers,
he was Vegas.
Vegas would be, Vegas would be optimal. Obviously, Bay Area, where like that would have really been.
That's why he was
better
really
for
pushing.
Him. Yeah.
He was really pushing for that San Francisco opportunity because they had a winning team. And the Raiders, maybe he is a guy who can kick them over the top. But those are the two teams in the AFC that make sense.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is
pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
As summer heats up, so does the sports betting action at BetMGM. Sign up now using bonus code FOSTER, and your first wager is totally risk-free up to $600. Place your bets on all the exciting showdowns in MLB, MLS, and more sports from around the globe. And when you register with BetMGM, you'll also get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials on big games. From breathtaking goals to colossal home runs, the King of Sportsbooks takes every play to a new level of excitement. Simply download the BetMGM app today or go to BetMGM.com and enter bonus code FOSTER to get back up to $600 on your very first wager. With BetMGM, you're just a few taps away from turning game time into showtime. New customer offer, paid and free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 or older. Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Day and night. Chicago White Sox baseball is on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, we're wrapping things up here. Don't Hassle So Local. Got about another, looks like 13 minutes here in the Hassle Castle. Today is July 23rd, 2021. 25 years ago today, Merrick. 25 years ago today.
So I was 10.
Carrie Strug nailed the vault to push the U.S. women's team to their first gold in gymnastics.
My first crush, my first celebrity crush.
Was?
No. Was on that women's gymnastics team.
Yeah?
I was 10 years old.
Uh-huh.
Dominique Moceanu.
Oh, yeah. That's a good pick.
I cut out pictures of her from magazines and put them on my wall.
I would say I was up there with it, but mine would have been much earlier. The '84 Mary Lou Retton, who was on the cover of Wheaties. But the U.S. team was in the lead during the final rotation of the team competition. But after the first four Americans landed in perfect vaults, the door was opened for a Russian comeback. On Carrie Strug's first attempt, back then the gymnast had got two vaults with the higher score counting. She landed awkwardly and injured her ankle.
What an iconic moment
She
this is.
was in pain, but she said to her coach, Bella Caroli, do we need this? And he said to her, we need you one more time for the gold. You can do it. Strug's second vault made her an icon, sticking the landing before saluting the judges and crumpling to the floor in pain. I remember where I was.
I watched that live as well.
I did, yep. I remember exactly where I was. So, though her vault clinched gold, it ended up not mattering as the final Russian competitor score wouldn't have been enough for the comeback anyway. But
But whatever.
Yes.
We don't count that part.
That's right.
And that was when we won the Cold War, right?
No, that was Rocky IV.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just checking.
Prior to 1996, U.S. gymnastics had medaled just 3 times, 1 silver, 2 bronze in the team and all-around competition. Since then, the U.S. has medaled in the team all-around at 5 straight Olympics, including golds in the last 2 games. That team was dubbed the Magnificent Seven. And if that doesn't get you excited about the Olympics, folks, I don't know what to tell you. Tonight will be the opening ceremonies in Tokyo. There are 613 U.S. Olympians and a handful of alternates that will be up there for the United States. It is the second largest contingent in U.S. team history, and is the largest of all the ones of a non-hosting team this year. The largest we ever had was that 1996 team we had of 648. This is also the 3rd straight Olympics in which women outnumber the men 329 to 284. By the number of states that are representing the United States, what state do you think has the most Olympians?
Texas.
Texas is 4th.
California.
California's number 1. Twice as many as second place Florida. There are 126 athletes from California. Florida has 51. Colorado, 34. Texas, 31. New York, 28.
Iowa
has less than 10 athletes on the Olympic teams.
I turned down my offer, sorry.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the wall climbing?
Table tennis.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, mine was the wall climbing. I was like, nah, I'm busy doing radio. I can't do that.
Yeah, sorry. Other commitments.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Let's see. Well, if we're looking at that, Thomas Gilman's going to be one of them. He's from Iowa. Let's see. I'll give you the list here in a second.
List of Iowa Olympic athletes.
Yeah.
Competing in this
We
year's
have
games.
someone who's actually from, she's going to be in Nigeria, but she runs track for Drake University. Kenny Bednarik, track and field for Team USA, but he originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, but he's Indian Hills Community College in Ottumwa. Hillary Bohr, track and field. She runs for Iowa State. Bridget Carlton. That'll be basketball. She'll be for Canada, though. Like I said, Thomas Gilman, wrestler for Iowa. Then we have Paralympic Jessica Himes, Paralympic discus. Aaron Kirchhoff, Paralympic track and field. Michael Ozzie, track and field. He'll be representing Great Britain, though. Ariana Orrego, gymnastics Peru. She's a redshirt junior on Iowa State's team, and so forth. So we have a lot going on there, but we also have some on the American team as well. So Iowa is represented, just not nearly as much as California.
If you could be an Olympic gold medalist in any event, what would you choose?
That's a great question. Well, wrestling isn't considered as one of them anymore. It's like one of those exhibitions now.
Is boxing still?
I believe, yeah, boxing is.
That might be like a nice life skill to have.
What would I like to do? I don't know. Well, considering that I don't have any vertical ability whatsoever, maybe that I had that. Maybe the high jump doesn't get it. Neither does the long jump.
Pole vaulting.
Pole vaulting.
It'd be kind of fun.
It's out in Iowa. Let's see. Probably something track and field, right? Swimming's not bad.
Or maybe basketball. But
Basketball
that's like
would
a
be
team
cool.
sport, but like you'd be really good at basketball. You could just hop over at a park and like school some people.
You know what I always like?
I'm thinking maybe like an individual sport. So you can be like, I'm the best, not I'm part of the best team.
Maybe the rings, men's gymnastics.
That takes so much strength.
Yeah. That'd be pretty. It'd be like, strong and be able to do that and do all those flips and then the dismount and stick it and land it and everything else.
Kind of fun. And then like wink at like a cute girl in front row.
Sure. Yeah. The judge, actually.
Right?
Like, yeah.
Hey, baby.
What else would be out there that, again, I don't think I'm any different than what Americans in the poll was. Gymnastics, swimming, track and field.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, I've been watching. I didn't last night because I think they came on at like either 2 in the morning or 12:30 our time. The women's softball, but I've been watching them.
What about like the decathlon? Then you're great at 10
Dude.
things.
Well, that's legit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why we stopped caring so much about. Do you remember when they had the Dan and Dave or whatever else, the guys competing to see if they were going to be?
Yeah.
And then that all went wayside. And obviously we had Bruce Jenner when he's on the cover of the 76
You're
Wheaties.
a supreme athlete if you're tops in the world at that.
Yeah, I'd want to be a decathlete.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Absolutely. That'd be the way to go. All right, so this weekend you have a show.
Yep. Moline, Illinois, at the Beer Stube in Moline, Illinois, 8 p.m., $10 tickets, TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs for the Iowa Wrestling Championship between Xander Killen and Joesa. It's SCW Pro Wrestling. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at SCW Pro. I'll tell you what, we've been having great crowds at the Beer Stube all summer long. I don't anticipate tomorrow night being any different. So come on out. You can bring your own chair because we're usually standing room only by a certain point because that's how many people have been showing up. But grab a beer, grab some food. It's going to be a good time. 8 p.m. tomorrow night, Beer Stube, Moline, Illinois.
Yeah, we got the Bix tomorrow. I'm interested to see what kind of crowd it's going to happen. I'll walk it. Just going to do the quick Bix with the kids. They've been doing it for years with me. Eventually, they'll grow into the part where they get into the 7 miles or whatnot if we walk it or run it. But they're still relatively young that I think just to walk up the hill.
You know, I've never done
people. The Bix?
I've never done it.
I highly recommend it. You can still sign up. You've got other things to do, but those out there listening, you can still sign up. You can go online and do it and pick up your packet tonight. Last night they had the race up Brady Street Hill. It's a great event. I'm just really interested to see exactly how it's all going to work out, how many people are going to be there, the post-race party type of thing, if people are going to be hanging out or if they want to just
I bet it'll be a good
out.
turnout.
Downtown is going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, it was interesting this morning when I was trying to get home from my gym.
Yeah, I bet. But I mean, say that just the crowds in general, because this used to be like the biggest party weekend or whatever else. Not my scene anymore.
Oh, me either.
So it's not like... good luck to our friends at Danview. They've got 2 hype crew that's going to be there. I know I have friends that are really excited about it. Even last weekend, people were like, man, I'm so excited that they're back. 2 hype crew. They're going to be at the Danview. I said, have fun. They're like, what do you mean you don't go? I'm like, I just don't deal with the crowds like that anymore. I just rather not.
There's too many people.
Yeah.
Too many crazies.
And today is, I think it's must-see television. Season 2 of Ted Lasso on Apple TV came out.
I haven't watched it, but I've only heard good things.
Great things. 20 Emmy nominations, the most for a freshman comedy in Emmy history. It is an excellent, excellent show. So
I got to find a way to illegally stream that because I don't have the Apple TV.
You're not supposed to say that out loud yet. Illegally streaming.
Come find me.
But yeah, it's a very good show, and if you can find someone who wants to share something with it, the password, then I suggest watching it. And I think they're only like 8 or 10, and they're only 30 minutes long, so it's a quick one you can get right through. But yeah, I've been excited for that, waiting for that. Cubs game just started not too long ago. White Sox start tonight. Cardinals will be tonight as well. Bix weekend, and a fun week here in studio next week. It looks like White Sox play on Thursday, 30th. I will be gone out of town. I have to take my daughter to sleepaway camp or whatever else on Sunday. So this is the first time like she's going to like a camp thing. So I'm going to go pick her up on Friday. So we're only doing 3 shows next week. So should be a lot of fun. All right. Everybody out there, thanks for tuning in today. Enjoy yourselves, Quad City. Stay safe and sanitized. We will talk to you tomorrow. Good luck to all the Bix race participants. Be kind to one another. I know you guys always do out there on Bix weekend. No one's ever really rude, but like Merrick said, I know it can be a little bit crazy downtown trying to pick up your packet today, but everyone's trying to get there and get home. Don't be rude to anyone. Don't be mad. Don't cut anybody off. Have a good day. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Monday.